Hey everybody, welcome back to our reviews. We are now doing Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 1, What's Your Story? So, Jason, you had to smash in Season 3.
I did indeed.
And not that it was really all that fucking relevant, was it?
Nope.
Jesus. And here I was like...
Basically, you could have wrapped up the changes saying, Travis is dead.
Well, no, there was more than that, but that was definitely the most impacting moment I think of the season was the way Travis dies. And anyways, we're not talking too much about season 3 here, but yeah, we touched on it a little bit. I think it's a shame almost that at least so far, and at least going into season 4, we've missed like a year and a half now. At least.
Yeah.
And something that I didn't get to talk about, I forgot to talk about it in our Walking Dead, even though it's in Fear, they have Morgan who gets visited by people from each community, the Hilltop and the Kingdom and Alexandria. One of the things that was pointed out during Talking Dead, which I used to catch that religiously, I don't anymore, but because it's a big shrill now, but something that was noted was that Morgan's eating an eggplant. And that he grew that eggplant. And they mentioned how long it takes to do that, which can take upwards to half a year.
Really?
Yeah, so he's by himself in Garbage Land for a very long time.
Yeah, well, I love the fact that it's like Jadis, Rick, and Carol, and Jesus.
Right. Well, Jadis just leaves.
Well, yeah. Then Jesus, Carol, and Rick all come back, and they're like, "Hey, we know it's been a while, but yay, come back."
Well, and I think it's Rick who almost gets to him. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that Rick actually does get to him, and I think that is ultimately why Morgan decides to leave, because I think he realizes I'm going to go back eventually, and what's going to happen is that somebody I care about is going to die. And I'm going to go into clear mode again. So I think that's ultimately why he decides to go, is because he needs peace. The man knows himself enough in this world to know that it will happen again. Yeah,
well, especially with Rick and Rick's penchant for bringing conflict.
Well,
or attracting conflict, I should say. Not bringing conflict.
Though? Does he anymore, though? Now that's a conversation for a different show. But yeah, so we're following Morgan at this point, and you know what? I guess considering I don't like the fact that we've missed so much from the Fear crew, and I think we'll get caught up well enough. Let me rephrase though. We better get caught up well enough.
You thinking they're gonna do like Lost style flashbacks?
Like I said in the previous episode, I think there's the potential to do that, but. Yeah. I don't like that we've lost so much time with them. I think we'll find out enough what's happened here. So coming into this, I don't mind the fact that we got an introduction to the season premiere from a completely different perspective, introducing basically the new characters to the show, at least some of them, and how they're going to interact, at least at the beginning here, with the Fear crew. Which was probably my favorite part of the whole episode, was that the Fear crew is different enough to where they'll do shitty things like set a trap in the middle of the road and then come out of the woods with guns.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty awesome. They'll do shit like that. And I like that. That's in character. Part of what Fear does is they try to give you these different perspectives and these different scenarios and how good guys, or at least our heroes for the show, can look like bad guys.
Yeah, no, and that was fun. Like getting caught up with season 3 and getting recapped on season 1 and 2. Right. I like that the Fear crew especially is much more willing to delve into brutality very quickly.
Right, no, and Madison, who we haven't seen yet, which I was fine with. They're trying to make a big deal out of it. Where's Madison? We're going to see Madison. It's going to be fine. But Madison, especially in season 3, will do some serious manipulative shit.
Oh, yeah.
And it's...
my favorite character, I'm hoping he's coming back, Psycho Man, the guy who burned the house
Daniel?
down after he started seeing. Yeah, Daniel. Oh my God.
The man who will not die.
Back. Huh?
The man who will not die.
Oh God, I hope they bring Daniel back.
He's a great character, but I hope, I kind of hope they don't though, because I'm kind of sick of watching him go through so much shit. He's been through so fucking much, and it's just like, God, just let the man have some peace.
No, I love Daniel. He's so crazy, and I love it. Like the voices, the visions, the fits of insanity, murder, just everything about that character just makes me so happy.
It is very compelling because even before the apocalypse, he was such a stone cold killer. That does make it very intriguing. Okay, but anyways, so let's talk about this episode. What's your story? So we had Morgan, so we got the crossover, and here's Morgan, and is it just me in watching the scenario with Rick, Andrew Lincoln? Was he just kind of? It just kind of felt like he's just kind of hamming up Rick a little bit. It's like, hey, I'm in a crossover. I'm on 2 shows now. Was that just me, or did he seem like he was kind of hamming up the role a little bit?
I don't know. I just chalked it up to some time has passed, so maybe Rick's personality has passed. Like I didn't think too much about it.
That's true, and it's good to see that Rick's doing well, Carol's doing well, Jesus is doing well, for at least however amount of time that was. I don't think we're going to know exactly how much time that was until season 9.
Surprised Michonne didn't show up with that group. She's definitely sort of one of the individuals you'd expect to reach out to Morgan.
Well, I think the point of what they were trying to show was that each community would love to have him.
Oh, okay.
And so they had a representative from each one. If you're going to pick Alexandria, I think picking Rick was the right way to go.
Yeah.
And they basically picked the ones who had gotten the closest with him. Obviously, Carol from the Kingdom and Jesus from the Hilltop. So, although you could have made the argument of Ezekiel from the Hilltop, or Ezekiel from the Kingdom. You could have made that argument as well, but so it was interesting. I completely agree with the path that Morgan's on and why he's doing it. It's a good story plot, although, like I've said in the past, I would have loved to have seen Fear stay in the past like it was, and instead get Rosita and Abraham, or just Abraham, in the past in Texas, which is where we're at now. For them, they're in Texas now, and seeing that, I think would have been a lot more fun. It would have gave them an opportunity to resurrect one of their previous characters, one of the most missed characters for the regular show. But we're at where we're at, and with that being said, I thought that was this is okay.
Yeah. No, despite everything, I do like where it's going.
Yeah, so, and again, we saw a completely different perspective here. We got 2 brand new characters, 3 new characters to Fear if you count Morgan, but we got 2 brand new characters to everybody, and that is John and Athena.
Dude, Cowboy Man.
You like him, huh?
I do. I like John.
I could take him or leave him. He's fine, as far as I'm concerned. He's fine.
I'm hoping he brings a bit of witty comedy to Fear. He's got sort of that smart ass look to him.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he seems like a very genuine person. And I do appreciate that.
Nothing, what do you think of? What do you think of Athena? I know.
I like
when
Athena.
You and I. Yeah, I know you and I were talking before, and you were like, "I do like Athena."
Yes, I very much like Athena. She was a bit of a crush of mine during Lost, for the amount of time she was on the show. But that being said, she's a legit decent actress, and I definitely like the role she's playing here. Being a journalist and with the camera, and she's just this chick driving around in an armored truck, getting by in a badass SWAT truck. And see, that's the kind of stuff that I like that Fear does. Is that Fear shows you these kind of scenarios. Like, one of the questions that people would, and one of the things that people had always said was, well, if I was in a zombie apocalypse, I'd just get on a boat. And they showed you just getting on a boat isn't exactly going to work.
Yeah.
And
they have not disproved the Alaska theory yet.
No, and goddamn it, at some point I want to see snow in either one of these shows.
Yep.
It pisses me off to this day because at the beginning of The Walking Dead in the comics, they did a whole winter season, and there's things they haven't even touched with that yet. They've only mentioned it years ago. They haven't, and it kind of takes me off, especially since they're on the East Coast. There's snow all the time.
Yup.
Anyways. No, I like Athena. I thought she's pretty cool. John's fine. But yeah. So yeah, I don't even think I asked you. Overall, what did you think of this episode?
I enjoyed it. You know, like I'm excited to see where they go from here. Like I enjoyed the setup, but it felt like a lot of setup.
It felt like a lot. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I did not thoroughly enjoy my 2 hours of The Walking Dead this last Sunday. I thought there were some really weak points at the end of the season finale for 8, but overall, I enjoy what this show did for the show, if that makes sense. But I did not like how it was presented to us. I felt the show was way too poorly paced. I thought there was a lot of filler and a lot of overall I did not enjoy the contents of this show outside of what I've already said that I liked.
Yeah, and that's sort of what I was going for in a roundabout way. Like I appreciate the setup, and I'm not exactly sure what's filler and what's not yet, because it's the first episode. There could be stuff that we consider filler right now that turns out to be a huge plot twist later,
Yeah.
Or important to the story later, Somebody's poisoned the eggplants or something that we don't know about.
That being said, we've actually almost talked about the whole bulk of the show already, and I mean considerably less time needed than what we had for the other one. And that being a season premiere, that's a little disappointing. But there was an interaction with a group of people that apparently knows Athena to some extent, or at least knows that there's a chick driving around in an armored truck.
Yeah. So she's got a bit of infamy to her.
Yeah. Yep. There's definitely some history there. There's also she's got that flag that's in her truck, that 51, and we get some prelude to what that's going to mean. There's some kind of new group that's popped up, leaving those flags around. But is there anything else to note about these things?
I
don't.
Nothing.
Yeah. I don't think it gave us much more. Of course, then there is the end of the episode where we do see most of the crew again.
Yeah, and they've all holed up in this, functioning society.
Well,
which is
did we actually get
weird?
Did we get to actually see that in the episode?
Or am I pulling that from the trailer? Yeah,
I think you're pulling that from the trailer. At the end of the episode, all we got was we did get the crew. We got Nick. We got Alicia, Strand, and Luciana. I think her name is.
Lucine
Yeah, Luciana.
Yeah. Yep.
Holding our new characters at gunpoint as they trapped them. I'm trying to think of the word here. Oh, jeez. What? Help me out here, Jason. What's the word? What'd they do?
They held them up,
Sure, we'll go with that. I can't think of the term right now. Yeah, they held them up, and they're gonna take their stuff. I thought that was pretty funny when Athena gets out of the vehicle.
Robbed them.
Yep.
There you go.
Well, that wasn't the term I was looking for, but yeah. But I thought that was kind of funny when Athena's getting out of the vehicle, and Morgan's like, "Well, I don't kill," and then John's like, "Well, I don't kill unless I have to," and she's like, "Hey, that's great information I could have used before." I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, there we see our fear crew.
Yep.
Everyone minus,
and we know all of them kill.
Yes, they all will kill.
Yep.
Looking very, and this is the thing now, and you basically said it. I mean, they all look very befuddled. They look like they're having a really hard time. We know they're not, because we have seen the trailer, and they're living in some sports coliseum, which, by the way, cool idea for a place for shelter, for a community. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. So we know they're not. So they're they set up this trap, and they're going to do what they're going to do. Obviously, I mean, they're not going to introduce these characters. They're not going to kill Morgan, Athena, and John.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens here, and I think that's just a payoff that just didn't work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it did sort of feel like cliffhanger for cliffhanger's sake.
Well, yeah, it felt like a cliffhanger. It was like, hey, if you didn't watch the trailer, for the literally probably hundreds of people who didn't watch the trailer and have no idea what's happening here, it just
or admittedly, there is an option that maybe the trailer was showing the midway through the season. Maybe they all team up after getting held up for whatever reason, and then they all travel in a group of 6 people now, or 7 people.
I suppose so.
And then they could find this magic civilization in the Sports Coliseum. We don't know 100% if they're living there right now.
Well, I'm pretty sure they are.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they are. And this is what this is just this is more of the stuff that the showrunner does. And again, we've got Scott Gimple, who's the showrunner for Fear this season. He was the showrunner for The Walking Dead, and a lot of people have been upset. And this is the stuff why it's like, this kind of bait and switch cliffhanger. We know nothing's going to happen here.
Yeah,
we've seen shots.
Characters.
Right,
yeah.
We've seen shots of these characters in the trailers outside of this. It almost feels like he kind of runs this stuff for himself. No one's buying this, and so honestly, at the end of it, that's what worries me the most. Are we going to see the shenanigans that we've seen in The Walking Dead for the last couple of years? Are we going to see that introduced into Fear? And I really hope not.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll take it in a new direction.
I hope so.
Hope springs eternal, Chris.
Right.
Hope springs eternal.
Right. No, I agree. And from what I saw in the trailer, I'm very excited for what we're going to potentially be getting from Fear this year. And I hope this is the start of something much better than what we saw this week.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah. But so I think is there anything else that we need to talk about for Fear?
No, most of it was just the interactions between Morgan and the new characters.
Right. Which again, are good characters. Maybe I sound like I'm giving John less credit than I really think. He's fine. I like the whole cowboy thing.
And I do like how him and Morgan interacted.
Right.
It does definitely feel like Jonathan's going to end up being sort of like the discount Rick of the series.
The discount Rick.
The off-brand Rick.
That is an interesting enough story with him looking for Laura. Who do you think Laura is?
Wife or daughter?
I don't know.
Or revenge target.
I'm kind of leaning on that, but the whole thing looking for somebody who has the other gun. I think that's kind of neat. That's an interesting story that they've got going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot to be excited about with these new characters.
I'm hopeful. Just Jesus, not a good representation. I don't think I think they could have done the premiere a lot better than what they did. But I think that's everything. So
yeah,
let's rate it 1 out of 5 armored SWAT vehicles. Where would you give this episode?
2.5.
2.5. I'm going to go with solid 2.5 as well. I wish it was a lot more.
Yeah, me too.
I really do, especially after the anticlimactic resolutions that we got from the season finale of season 8.
Especially after the awesome cliffhanger ending of season 3 of Fear.
Exactly. I do hope they kind of do some flashback thing. Maybe.
I know. I want to know what happened with the dam.
Right. Very. We'll see. Let's see if it all pays off. This show, while a lot of people have been very frustrated with The Walking Dead as a whole for the last couple of years, Fear has been a brighter spot for the show overall. That being said, this whole franchise has pulled off some amazing stuff.
Without a doubt.
Right. So I'm going to be hopeful yet. But wasn't the biggest fan of how we started out Fear. But let's see if it all pays off next episode. All right, but I think that's going to do it.
Alrighty.
So, all right. So we're gonna like we were following The Walking Dead season 8. We are going to follow season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead. Let us know what you think of this episode. Comment down below. Also, don't forget to put a like on this and follow us so that you can catch every episode that we do of this and our other other episodes. You almost screwed it up again. Of our other content and episodes, Dirt for Dirt. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for now. So this is Chris, and as always, Jason.
Hey-o, logging off.
Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, is there anything to go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but it'd be great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksongmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Yeah, who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.